All right, so today we're diving into the world of D.C. Draino.
Hmm.
You know him, right?
Yeah.
This conservative guy online.
Oh, yeah. Quite a character.
Yeah, so is he legit? Like, is he the real deal, a visionary? Or is he more like a grifter? Just kind of cashing in on all the,
What controversy?
yeah, all the controversy.
That's a good question.
Yeah, and we've got a lot to work with here.
We do.
Bios, articles, even some legal stuff.
Oh, wow.
And even some of his tweets. So we're going deep on this guy, Rogan O'Handley,
Oh.
the man behind the DC Draino persona.
Yeah, I'm really curious about his background. It's pretty interesting from what I've seen.
Yeah, so he graduated with honors, double majored in political science and criminal justice.
Wow.
And that's not all. He was super active on campus, too.
Oh, really?
Like, he was president of student government.
Mm-hmm.
Even made it onto this top 100 most influential seniors list.
Yeah.
So you can tell.
Ambitious.
Yeah, ambition and influence, that's...
Like from the beginning.
Yeah, it's like part of his DNA.
Right.
And then, of course,
Well,
University of Chicago Law School.
one of the best.
One of the most prestigious.
Yeah.
Gets his Juris Doctor. Lands a gig as an entertainment lawyer in Hollywood. I mean, come on.
Sounds like he had it all figured out.
Yeah, you'd think. Right. But this is where it gets interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
He starts feeling like he doesn't fit in.
In Hollywood.
Yeah, in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's like he can't really express his conservative views.
Interesting.
So what does he do? He moved to Florida.
What?
Yeah, he packs up and leaves.
Wow.
And then he launches this whole DC Draino persona on social media. This is 2016, right?
Oh, yeah, the election year.
The political climate is insane.
Totally.
And boom, this lawyer turned meme lord explodes.
That's wild.
Yeah, and he's got millions of followers.
Mm-hmm.
On Instagram, X, Facebook, you name it. And he is not holding back.
Oh, I've seen some of his stuff.
Yeah, he's using humor and satire
Yeah.
to go after Democrats and all these left-leaning figures.
Yeah, he doesn't pull any punches.
No, he definitely does not.
But it's interesting, though. His content is very strategic. It's not just random stuff.
Right. Do you remember that quote from his interview on the Full Send podcast?
Oh, I don't know.
He said, memes are the most effective form of communication. Even more than movies, he said.
Wow.
He's tapping into how people consume information now. It's all about quick, digestible, shareable content.
Yeah, and usually with a lot of emotion.
Exactly.
That's a good point. It's not just about being funny. It's about going straight to the audience. And in D.C. Draino's case, that message,
It's often
outrage, mockery, and a whole lot of conservative ideology.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And then there's the Trump retweet,
Oh, yeah, that was a big moment.
May 2020. Draino posts this tweet making fun of people in blue states, for being afraid of COVID.
Right.
The tweet goes viral, and Trump retweets it.
Instant credibility.
Yeah, and a ton of new followers.
Oh.
So here's the question that I keep asking myself. Is this guy for real? Did he really leave a high-paying job just because he was so passionate about his beliefs?
It's hard to say.
Or was it more about...
Yeah, maybe he saw an opportunity to build a brand,
Okay.
and cash in on all the political division.
That's $1 million question, isn't it?
It really is.
And to really understand that, we got to look closer at the controversies, the censorship, and the business side of D.C. Draino.
Yeah, all this stuff behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
So there's this interview from 2018 with The Federalist. It's this conservative online magazine.
Okay.
And D.C. Draino kind of talks about his early days. What led him to become D.C. Draino?
Interesting. So was he like a secret conservative this whole time?
Well, he talks about feeling uncomfortable in Hollywood with the liberal culture there.
Right.
Like, he couldn't express his conservative views, without risking his career.
It's kind of ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hollywood, the industry all about freedom of expression, and it can feel like the least tolerant place for different opinions.
Exactly. And for O'Handley, it created this inner conflict. He even called it cognitive dissonance.
Wow.
He felt alienated, especially during Obama's presidency. Like, his beliefs didn't fit in with the political climate.
I see.
So he finds an outlet in social media.
Oh, makes sense.
He starts his DC Draino account on Instagram
Right.
and begins sharing his conservative views.
Through memes and stuff.
Yeah, memes, short commentary.
Interesting.
At first, it was all about policy, criticizing the Democrats.
Right.
But then he realizes humor and satire are way more effective at getting people's attention.
So it's not just about being right, it's about being entertaining.
Exactly. You got to make it go viral.
Right.
And he even compares himself to Candace Owens in that interview. They both see themselves as revealing leftist lies exposing bias, data, and narratives.
So he's tapping into that distrust
Yeah.
of mainstream media, positioning himself as this alternative source of truth.
Exactly. And it works. His
Yeah.
Instagram following explodes. Over 1 million followers.
Wow.
He's like pioneering a new kind of political commentary. These bite-sized pieces of outrage, humor, and conservative ideology.
All packaged in a way that's easy to share.
And easy to digest.
Right.
He's weaponizing memes.
Yeah, using them to spread information, shape opinions, even mobilize people.
Right. And he's so confident in this approach that he quits his law job.
Seriously,
Yeah, he goes all in on social media,
that's a huge risk.
but it pays off.
How so?
He becomes one of the most prominent conservative voices online. He's on Fox News The Blaze, even gets invited to the White House for that social media summit in 2019.
Wow. This is during the Trump years, right?
Yeah.
So he's all in on the May GA movement.
Definitely.
Attends the 2020 Republican National Convention.
Great. Oh.
Keeps defending Trump's policies online. Attacking his opponents.
At his content, it starts to change.
How so?
It gets more partisan, more provocative. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it's satire, commentary, just straight up misinformation.
I see. He's pushing those election fraud claims, spreading conspiracy theories about COVID, even downplaying January 6th.
Yeah, it gets really controversial.
And then he gets banned from Twitter in early 2021.
For violating their election integrity rules.
Which, of course, he sees as
Yeah.
a political attack on his free speech.
Right. He becomes this martyr for the conservative cause.
Exactly. A victim of the liberal establishment.
And he files a lawsuit against the California government,
For what?
claiming they pressured Twitter to ban him.
Wow.
His lawyer is Harmeet Dillon.
I know that name.
Yeah, she's a big Republican lawyer with ties to the Trump campaign.
So even with the Twitter ban, he's staying relevant,
Yeah.
keeping his name out there.
Reinforcing that narrative of being silenced for speaking the truth.
And the lawsuits.
It fails.
But it kept him in the spotlight.
Exactly.
And even without Twitter, he's still got Instagram and Facebook,
Millions of followers.
plus his own website and podcast.
Expanding his reach.
He's everywhere.
And he becomes a regular on those conservative talk shows.
Like Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson Tonight.
And his rhetoric gets even more intense.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking about communism, globalism, even warning about a civil war,
It's like he's purposely pushing Buddy. Yeah, fueling the outrage.
solidifying his place
Yeah.
in that right-wing media echo chamber.
Exactly.
So here we are today. D.C. Draino. Still a polarizing figure.
Loved by some, hated by others.
So are we any closer to figuring out if he's a grifter or gifted?
It's a tough one.
He's clearly tapped into something, this resentment and distrust of institutions. He's giving a voice to people who feel ignored and marginalized, but he's also willing to exploit that anger and fear.
For his own benefit.
Right. So is he trying to make a difference, or is he just playing a role?
Manipulating people to make money.
That's the dilemma.
And to understand that, we need to look at how he makes his money.
Yeah, let's follow the money trail. Okay, so we got this guy, lawyer turned meme king. Now he's like a conservative media star.
Yeah, he's come a long way.
Millions of followers, turning controversy into clicks.
He knows what he's doing.
But how does that actually translate into money?
Well, social media is a big part of it. Platforms like Instagram and Facebook, they have all these tools for influencers.
Oh yeah, like ads and stuff.
Yeah, ads, sponsored content, even direct sales.
So the more followers you have, the more money you can make.
Basically, yeah.
And DC Draino's got millions of followers.
Yeah.
Across multiple platforms.
He's in a good spot.
And it's not just the numbers.
Right.
It's how much people interact with his posts.
Exactly.
They're not just scrolling by.
They're commenting, sharing, arguing.
That's what advertisers want.
It means their message is actually reaching people.
So he's turned outrage into a business.
You could say that.
The more he provokes,
Yeah.
the more attention he gets,
Yeah.
the more money he makes.
It's a pretty effective strategy.
But it's not just social media, right?
No, he's built a whole media empire.
He's got his website, his podcast, he's on all these talk shows
He even sells merch.
with catchphrases and stuff.
Exactly. It's like this whole ecosystem.
Yeah, everything feeds into everything else.
Amplifying his reach, generating revenue,
And then there's the whole question of,
funding.
yeah, like, is he getting money from political donors or groups?
We don't know for sure. There's no proof.
But it's definitely possible.
Especially given his alignment with certain views.
Right. Some wealthy conservatives might see him as a valuable weapon.
In the fight against the liberal agenda.
So this is where it gets really tricky. Grifter or gifted?
Yeah, is he truly passionate? Or is he just playing the game?
Saying what he needs to say to keep the money coming in.
It's hard to know for sure.
Maybe it's a bit of both.
He could believe in what he's saying and still be aware of the financial benefits.
Right. It all comes back to that central question.
D.C. Draino, master of controversy.
He knows how to push buttons, trigger emotions, turn outrage into engagement.
But is that the mark of a visionary leader?
Or a skilled manipulator?
It's almost like he's playing a character.
This larger-than-life persona.
Designed to grab attention.
But how much is real? And how much is just performance?
Some people see him as a brilliant strategist.
Right, a master of social media.
Someone who understands how to build a brand.
By tapping into people's anger and resentment.
They admire him for challenging the status quo.
They like his wit.
His ability to connect with people.
They see him as a truth teller.
Exposing the lies of the elites.
But others see him as a dangerous demagogue.
Someone who profits from division and fear.
Spreading misinformation.
Inciting violence.
They point to his lack of journalistic integrity.
His reliance on unsubstantiated claims.
His history of inflammatory rhetoric.
They think he's more interested in personal gain
than in actually serving the public.
So have we answered the question, grifter or gifted?
It's really up to each individual to decide.
There's no easy answer.
No clear-cut proof.
But one thing's for sure, D.C. Draino is a force to be reckoned with.
He's a product of our time.
Reflecting the divisions and polarization in our society.
He's shown you can bypass traditional media.
Build a huge following online.
By creating content that connects emotionally.
He's mastered the meme, the viral tweet.
The short attention-grabbing video.
He's built a brand.
That's instantly recognizable.
Appealing to a specific audience.
He's created a community.
A tribe of followers.
Who feel seen and heard by him.
Who trust him as a source of information.
So is he a visionary or an opportunist?
A hero or a villain?
Maybe a bit of both.
He's a complex figure.
In a complex world.
Where charisma and controversy mix.
And the lines between truth and fiction get blurry.
We all have to decide where we stand.
Do we see D.C. Draino as a force for good?
Or a threat to democracy?
The answer might surprise you. That's our deep dive on D.C. Draino. We've covered his background, his rise to fame, his controversial statements, his business, and his impact on the political landscape. Now it's your turn. Weigh the evidence and decide, grifter or gifted.
Keep those critical thinking skills sharp.
Because in today's world, knowing how to navigate information is crucial.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged.